patch notes are not late this month. There were big changes this month. The first is that I decided to take charge of my life. No, of one particular day. Last month I mentioned that I get to spend a solid half day developing games each week. Each week there's one day when my wife works and I don't, so aside from taking care of chores and stuff, I get to spend it working on games. On the first such day after the last patch notes video, I decided to really take things more seriously. Now I'm treating those days like a real work day, where I work for a couple of hours, get a short break, work a couple more hours, take a lunch break, etc. Of course, I've still got chores to do on that day, but the result of this new routine has been a huge increase in productivity, and it's greatly improved my work ethic as well. I'm calling this one day a week my work day, even though I work at an actual paying job 4 of the days each week. This is the real work. So the first thing I did on my first work day was draft the entire map of Notemon. I started with a basic draft, redid it with some changes, then divided it into the actual map screens that you'll see in the game. Doing this made it a lot easier to build the game. Having a draft right there to base the Pico 8 version on is great. Of course, things change between the paper version and the Pico 8 version, but here's the Crossroads map. I had to make these new cliff tiles for this map. I'm reasonably happy with them, but yeah, you let me know what you think. I also set up a Git repository for Notemon. Now I've got version control and backups, so if Texas explodes, I'll be able to recover my work. It's also great for motivation. Being able to look at all the things I've achieved for the day gives me a sense of a job well done. This month I took a lot of the data I had stored in the main Notemon cartridge and moved it into the individual map cartridges, like the locations of doors, Notemon you'll encounter, and other data about each map. That removed a lot of extra code from the main cartridge. I did this using the same binary data system I've been using to store the NPC data. In essence, it's the same as the code used for my binary save system, except I take all the data and encode it into hex to be stored in the GFX2 part of the Pico 8 cartridge. Another big thing I did this month is add much better character customization. Before, you could switch between being bold or not and having light or dark skin. Now you can select between different head sprites and hair, skin and shirt colors. I'm using this system to draw the NPCs too, like Purple Greg here. While doing this, I realized how redundant gender selection is. Like in Pokemon, the professor says, "Are you a boy or a girl?" With a customization system like this, you can decide that sort of stuff in your head, then just pick the hair, shirt, and stuff like that that fits your character. There's one last big benefit to this new workday schedule. On that workday, I'm working hard on Notemon, my main game project. That means that once that day is done, I can spend my free time doing whatever I want and not feeling stressed about whether I've done enough work on Notemon. Some indies really dedicate every free second to working on their games, and that's fine for some people, but as much as I'd like to be as successful as Edmund McMillen, I don't want to be like him and his wife in Indie Game the Movie.
I heard a lot of this, "I only see your back." It was like, I know we're in the same room together, but I only see your back. Like, we never are sitting looking at each other. Quite a few times I'm like, I had to ask her, "Are you happy here? Is this worth it?"
When I made Bob Ross Sliding Paintings Museum, I basically took off time from Notemon to make it. Since this new workday thing though, I've been working on a new side project without impacting Notemon development. That side game is Notemon Tower Defense. I've loved tower defense games since my Flash game days. I've never made one before, so I'm really excited. As you can tell, I'm using Pico 8 for it. I decided to use Pico 8 since I've never made a TD game before, and Pico 8 will help to keep things simple and quick. Although we know how that went for Notemon. I've got monsters walking along the path, towers shooting them with single target and AoE attacks, different prices and ranges, Notemon who carry their stats over from the actual Notemon game, and I've got a system for the maps where you build a 16 by 16 map, then all the data for that map is right below it, like the waves of Notemon, how much food you get at the start and stuff like that. I'm thinking I'll even make it so you can load maps in from other Pico 8 cartridges, so anyone can make maps for the game, and I could even make a few separate campaigns with several maps each. As always, let me know what you think in the comments, or just have a chat with me about whatever you want. Cheers, big ears!